Willie D Live.
What's up, family? There is no single action that can eliminate racism. But in the United States of America, there is one group that could significantly reduce its impact. I had a dream. If only more white folks spoke up like this.
So let me get one thing straight right now so we don't have to visit it again. I don't fucking hate white people. I am white. I ain't got no goddamn guilt complex. I'm proud to be white. I ain't got no problem with my damn skin. My mama was white. What I absolutely despise, though, is white fucking behavior. Why? I'm ashamed of our greed, of our white narcissism, and this sickness of Christian fascism that is rotting us from the inside out. We wave this flag and holler about patriotism, but using a system to keep one race in power over everybody else ain't patriotism. That's a betrayal. We're so terrified of our own history that we banning books and hiding behind censored curriculums, praying the world doesn't see the blood on our foundation. Y'all want the receipts? Look in your own damn wallet. We carry the proof of America's original sins in our pockets every day like a lucky charm. Look at the $20 bill on Andrew Jackson. Look at there. Folks down here treat him like a hero. But let's be brutally honest. You're worshiping at the altar of a racist devil. He wasn't just some tough guy. He was a human trafficker who used the United States military to steal millions of acres from native people just to expand the empire of slavery. And it don't stop with the $20 bill. Look at George Washington on the $1 bill. Jefferson on the $2 bill. These men wrote all men are created equal while keeping hundreds of human beings in chains. We built a holy trinity out of morally bankrupt narcissists who treated human life like currency. We celebrated white greed as a virtue. And this wannabe dictator Trump, he's just the newest messiah of that exact same fucking disease. You know, white people like to talk about civilization like we brought it here on a fucking boat. Please. Hell, the Aztecs are building cities cleaner and more sophisticated than anything in Europe. They gave us the crop to keep the world from starving. And how did we pay them? We stole their gold. Then we stole their blueprints for democracy to write our own constitution. And let's look at the black soul, the truth white America really wants to skip. Because if we admit what black folks actually did, white genius looks like a fucking lie. Black people didn't just create the swamps and build the White House. They designed the modern world. You're watching me on a cell phone right now because of Jesse Russell, a black man, pioneered digital cellular technology. You survived surgery because Charles Drew figured out the blood bank. We are living in a house designed by the minds we tried to cage, and we're still trying to ban the authors who wrote the truth about it. This is the white intellectual bankruptcy. You know, my daddy and I used to hunt a lot. Let me tell you universal truth. When the rabbit's got the gun, it ain't no fun. The people we spent 400 years hunting have taken hold of the narrative, and white America is terrified. You're scared to death that black and brown people want to do to us what we've done to them. You're projecting your own violent heart onto them, hoping for a payback that fits your bloodthirsty history. But here's the raw, unvarnished truth about black people. They don't want revenge. They never did. That's a white fantasy born out of guilt. They just want to live their fucking lives without asking your permission. They just want what's fair. Basically, they want to just be left the fuck alone. We're so scared of a monster we created in our own heads that we weaponize the system against them. And white women, you've played the innocent victim for 4 fucking centuries. But your fake tears have been death warrants for entire communities, from Tulsa to Emmett Till. And I don't give a fuck if it hurts you. And I don't give a fuck if I'm a man telling you, because I'm coming down on our white men too. You are the weapon that makes the system work. You don't believe me? Look up fucking Tulsa. Look up fucking Rosewood. White women tears created that shit. So white America, we've tried everything else. We tried hate. We tried fear. We tried dominating everyone who doesn't look like us, and it's failed us. Isolation is death. When you cut off the flow of diversity, you aren't just starving your neighbors. You are tying a tourniquet around the veins of our democracy. Fact. America is diversity. Our strength wasn't in our walls. It was in our ability to fuse different minds into something unstoppable. Love is the most powerful, untapped, revolutionary resource in our entire fucking universe. It is the only thing that can turn a broken system into a sanctuary. I do this work because I love my people enough to tell them the fucking truth. Look in the fucking comments. Tell them if you see any fucking white people. They all run from me like little fucking cockroaches. We have to bury the fucking lie. We have to reclaim our humanity as white people. This Freedom 250 hat, stick it up your fucking ass, because America ain't never been fucking free. All right? Because as the great Fannie Lou Hamer said, nobody's free. That includes you, white America, until everybody's free. Let that penetrate your little fucking minds. The dawn is coming, and the choice is yours.
I ain't got no problem with that, but some of y'all do, so let's talk about it. First of all, before I go any further, straight out the gate, ladies and gentlemen, that was Dixon D. White, known as Dixie Whitey on Instagram. I'm not sure if that's his handle everywhere else, but I follow him on Instagram. He is a good follow. Very consistent. He's not hopping on some type of bandwagon. He's been extremely consistent in his messaging, and that's what I look for. But I primarily look for real allies, fam. Real allies. You dig? I ain't looking for no white savior because I don't need nobody to save me. But I do appreciate white people who are willing to be ostracized by their own. They're willing to even sometimes hear the complaints of black people, who they are actually riding for, sometimes black people don't want to hear no white person say nothing. So they take that chance every time they open their mouth and they speak on our issues. But he got it because when you call yourself supporting someone, especially when you're talking about supporting a marginalized group, your job is not to go in trying to tell people what they should be doing. That's that condescending behavior, trying to tell people how they should handle their business, and you're not living in that skin. You're not in their shoes. You don't have their shared experience, so you can't tell people how to feel or what they should think. A true ally would go to the people and say, what do you need me to do? And a true ally would just do that. They wouldn't try to put nothing on top of it. Perhaps make a suggestion, but who are you making a suggestion to? You got to go with the collective. That's a true ally, instead of stepping up trying to act like, because now you're speaking on behalf of this group or whatever. Somehow you got some type of superior voice. Because some of them have that type of mentality. They think, because I'm white, if I say it, they're going to believe it more. You dig? So I can appreciate those who are like Dixon, who has a very clear message and a consistent message, and definitely listens to the voice of the people to make sure that his messaging is on code. You dig? I can absolutely appreciate that, man. So salute to you, man. I've been watching you, man. And I've been watching a lot of others out there who have been speaking up and speaking out. It takes courage, right? Just like it takes courage to speak out as a black person, because it's coconuts and stepping fetches and shucking jivers out there who, when they hear a black person speaking up for black people, they get offended. They get really offended, almost like, you was gonna get us whipped. You was gonna get us in trouble. Master don't like that, you know that. They got that type of mentality. In 2026, I'm like, damn, man, you only got one life to live. Why would you live it like a coconut? Why would you live it on your knees? You got one life, and you don't know when that time is coming. So why not just, live it like with some integrity? You know, whether you're a man or a woman, just standing on business, like, living with some integrity, man. Like I don't get that other side of things. But you know, he laid it out. He laid it out. One thing that I would add, that the white people who are in fear, white people who get off on seeing black bodies harmed, their biggest fear is that black people will have the resources that they have, and what black people will become if they had those resources. That's what they fear the most. Because you can look straight across the board in every single industry. We have never, not once, had a fair shot. We have never, not once, started at the same starting point. We always have had to catch up. We've always had to play catch up. We've always started with less. Well, in most cases, we started with less. And somehow, some way, we figure it out. Time and time and time again. A lot of times, they try to get us to just look at people who have, black people who have achieved an immense amount of success. So they try to make you look at the Beyoncés and the Jay-Z's, and they're always using Beyonce and Jay-Z as an example, you know. They try to go to back of Michael Jordan and LeBron James, you know, the people with the biggest money, you know. They always go Oprah Winfrey, you know, just Tyler Perry, stuff like that. And what they don't understand, what most people don't understand, is that most people in the world can't compete with that. These are all people who got it out of the mud. Most people in the world can't do what they do. But they try to make black children, black people aspire to do what they do. And they use them as an example of who we should be collectively. And that's just not logical. You know, these are people who have achieved the type of success, getting it out of the mud, that most people in the world can't do. White people cannot compete with that. Most white people cannot compete with none of them. You start most white people off the same way you start off, the same way that all of these other people started off, and they would never, ever, ever get close to being on that level. But they try to make it seem like if you want to be successful and you black, that's what you got to be. No, we got literally millions of success stories. Millions. And let me tell you something. You ain't got to make millions to be successful. Sometimes success is simply being able to get up, get out, and go get something and earn an honest living. It's as simple as that. Sometimes it's just getting up and taking the next generation to a higher level. Maybe that higher level means higher education, right? Higher learning, you know? Maybe you raised 5 kids. None of them became doctors and lawyers, but none of them went to jail either. You dig what I'm saying? Sometimes success looks like that, you know? So success comes in many forms. So don't let nobody throw you off your game and make you feel less than because your success doesn't look like the success that they expect you to have, right? Or because your success doesn't look like their success. That's ridiculous. Because another thing is this, you have to always think about this. You don't know the price that other person paid for whatever they have. Because sometimes we be able to, relationship goes. Next thing you know, they on the news. Such did this to that person, did this to that person. They didn't unalive that person, killed it. You know what I'm saying? That type of stuff happened more often than you can imagine. You don't know what people are doing to maintain that lifestyle they have. You don't know what they did, what they're going through. Looking at people that's attractive. Oh man, he lucky. How you know? Oh, she lucky because he got this and got this. How you know she lucky? The woman might be going through a living hell And I know most of y'all can relate to exactly what I'm talking about. But what say you, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. No more talk.